Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory, Update 4. As you may notice, my audio sounds a little bit different. I applied some filter settings to my channel for my voice, and I hope it is better. Let me know what you think about it in the comments, the chat, or on Discord, and I'm probably going to continue making some tweaks to it. But if you have any suggestions or anything, let me know, of course. So in our last episode, we set up a partial setup of whatever these are called here, cooling units. We brought in the nitrogen gas from the train station, or actually brought it in from way out there, and then trained it across and brought it into a train station down below, down here someplace, and then piped it up using some of the clever pipe clipping tricks, like putting a pipe, what's it called? I don't remember what these things are called. Pipeline support, and then bending it down so that it appears flat and burying it underneath a piece of foundation, so that it looks like a wall mount, only a floor mount connector, which is kind of a cool effect. And I can't remember I picked that up. Picked it up someplace. Might have been Caladorn. And then piping that in here and making just a partial setup where we're hand delivering for now the heat sinks in order to make the cooling systems. So 100 are finished. I fit in 100 more heat sinks just so we could have another 100 because, well, we might as well, right? And then I went and picked up the radio control units and the I already had the aluminum or the alclad plates that we needed, so we have everything we need to unlock the hover pack. And I would most definitely like to play with this today. Let's go in here and head back toward the hub, where we are going to unlock the hover pack. And then once we do this, then we can continue hooking up things in the bus. I believe that my spreadsheet is finished. It was a decent amount of work to update all the recipes and look at the alternate recipes and try and make a decision on them using my own knowledge as opposed to using someone else's knowledge. Specifically, the person who did the wonderful spreadsheet for Update 3, who I hope will come back and update it for Update 4. But I also did it keeping in mind some of the new features in Update 4 and wanting to use some of the recipes that use some of those features. So, given that, we have several episodes that we're going to have work to do, or things to do to. Oh, I need more of those. Oh, well, crap. I didn't know it was 500. I thought it was 200. I mean, we got them all right here, but I think I have them going into the mall, so we'll just grab them from the mall. Actually, I know I do, because they're used for belts. So I did use some of the recipes, or I did pick out some of the recipes, rather, so that they were kind of compatible with the idea of exploring the features in this update. And why can't I find... Oh, there they are, of course. Let's grab 400 more. That's probably plenty. We don't use the Mark V belts all that much because we're not really building to that scale in this base. But yeah, it's going to be just quite a few more episodes, I think, in order to reconfigure the things that I want to reconfigure and put those all on the bus, all the new stuff on the bus, and make this base explore all the new content the way that I wanted to.
Milestone reached. The Hoverpack enables aerial overview of all powered factories, as well as easy transport across multi-level buildings by wirelessly connecting to the power grid.
Okay, so the Hoverpack needs everything we have but 4 more cooling systems. I was afraid of that. I should have grabbed what was left. Or I should have just looked it up. But I didn't want to look it up because as you guys know from watching me, I like to figure things out kind of live. You know, I was having this thought the other day about, figuring out things live, and, I have the, my streaming habit and my YouTube habit aren't all that different. I like to do things live and cut to them live. Instead of having a bunch of stuff planned ahead and just there to demonstrate. I mean, that's good, but that's a tutorial to me. That's not a let's play. A let's play to me is also a let's figure it out. So anyway, sometimes, as you guys are well aware, I will do these kinds of things where I'll forget something, or I'll stumble over something, or like we did in the last episode, I'll spend a bunch of time fiddling with pipe arrangements just to kind of see what different things we can accomplish with the way that the pipes work. So let's I guess I could have just stayed up there and put an equipment workshop down up there. I wasn't even thinking about that. So the hover pack. And this, I think, takes batteries? No, this runs off the electrical power of the base. So we have that now. So now let's see. Hover pack. Oh, it moves fast too. Oh, look at, do you see the electrical? See if we can get it to do it again. Yeah, there it goes. So every once in a while it'll charge by drawing power from a nearby power pole. That is awesome. Okay, so we press space to go up, and then of course the WASD and the how do we go down? Is that C? Yeah, C, because that's the crouch key. That's really cool. I like it. So it's not super duper fast. Like the Hypertube would be faster to travel this distance. This is about the same speed maybe as the Blade Runners are, but the fact that it's completely independent of the ground or the whatever. And I know you can go out a little ways, but you can't go super far away from power. So I'm not sure what the distance is, and I guess we could try it out someplace like this where we're fairly safe. I see we're starting to get an alarm now. There it goes, and it just failed. So that's not bad. We got probably, I don't know, 4 or so foundation blocks away from the nearest power pole before it failed. So that's not too bad. It's about 30 feet or so, or 30 meters or so. All right, so we've done this now. Let's pull up the calculator and pull up the calculator here. That's not the one that I want. I was looking at fuel recipes too, by the way. I guess we could talk about this, although we'll revisit it later. So this is the sort of fuel ratio that I used when I did the fuel power generation. It's one of each of these machines. Now they're packagers, of course. They're refineries down there because they're the old recipes, the old design. But and then it was 0.75 refineries making this, which you can basically take this ratio here and repeat it as many times as you want, and just by adding, you know, an additional factory, and then you can either add 3 for every 4 of these, or you can do kind of the simple thing, which is just to keep building one at a time, but just make them all at 75%. So if you're using this diluted package fuel recipe, or you have been using it, this is the ratio that you want. But there's another option, and that option is this. You need blenders, of course, so you have to wait until you can get that far. But this is the same inputs. There's 60 water and 22.5 crude oil here. Everything else is zeroed out. We have 60 fuel coming out and 15 polymer resin coming out. Everything else is balanced, zero balanced. But on this one, it takes it down to 2 steps, 2 buildings instead of 4. And you still have 60 water and 22.5 crude going in. You still have 60 fuel coming out, and still have 15 polymer resin coming out. And I put this down to 0.6 just to maintain those same outputs, just to compare. We had to compare the inputs apples to apples, and so you have the exact same thing here. Now the blender uses a little bit more power. I think the refinery is something like 40 megawatts or something, and these are 75. So the blender does use more power. And I think the packagers are like 4 or 8 megawatts. But if you're worrying about space and complexity, well, space isn't an issue, but if you're worrying about complexity, you know, this is a much better option because you're immediately taking the heavy oil residue, mixing it with the water in a blender and making fuel out of it. Whereas with this one, you're having to package water and then belt it into the refineries to mix with the heavy oil residue to make the diluted packaged fuel, and then to unpackage that fuel in a packager. And so there's a lot of, and then you have to loop the empty packages back, the empty containers rather, back from the unpackaged fuel packagers back to the packaged water packagers, and that means, you know, you got to deal with that belt, and so there's a lot that goes on here. It's a lot of complexity. So I mean, obviously, when you first want to use fuel-based power, this is kind of your only choice. Or this is your best choice, rather than, you know, just the straight up fuel recipes, the default recipe. But once you get to the end game and you unlock the blender, this is a much better recipe for setup. So, you know, you could easily have one area that's doing this, and then when you're ready to expand your fuel power, just go to this method. So having said that, though, let's go into our main bus plan. And I showed this off, I think, in the last episode, or maybe the one before, but we just did cooling devices, or rather part of cooling devices. We need to do the heat exchangers here, and we need a dedicated array of those so that we can feed them into here. And as we can see, if you scroll across here on the spreadsheet, you can see whenever there's a minus in the cell. So, oops, that's not actually what I wanted. What I wanted was this here, where we need 3.75 in the cooling devices, but we need 45 for radio connection units. So that's a ridiculous amount, honestly. And we're gonna have to set that up for this. Now, I could, I suppose, each one of these heat exchangers outputs 10 per minute. So, I mean, I could have one that's clocked at 37.5%. That's here with the cooling devices. I could bring in the two ingredients that these take, which is rubber and aluminum casings, and that's definitely an option. We could do that here, and then I could just set up the like 4.5. Either overclocking them to make it only 4 of them overclocked, or, you know, with some overclock, or just set up 5 and have one or more of them underclocked. I think I want to do it, though, just setting them all up and then belting them back. I have that highlighted here in yellow because the heat exchangers are actually used for building something that I can't remember now. It might be the drones. No, it's not the drones. Or the drone ports. I'm not sure now what it is that they're used to build. Might be maybe the Mark III miners then, or something along that line. But they used to build something, and so I want to have a few of them left over to put in the mall. And while this math doesn't actually put any in the mall, if I do end up putting them in the mall, I can just round this up to 5, and that'll give me, you know, 1.25 per minute to go into the mall, and that should be fine. And then we'll just have to round up or bring up a little bit the numbers for rubber and aluminum casings to compensate. And then on down the line, I suppose, but that's okay. So, and we may have to bring up the numbers for those because there's some of those going into the mall already anyway, to just reduce the mall numbers of those a little bit. So we already wanted to put this here. This is the blender making, oh, I guess I should turn off the, yeah, there we go. This is the blender making fused modular frames, and the reason we wanted this here is because we have the nitrogen gas requirement here, and these are the only two items, the only two recipes rather, that I'm making that actually require the that recipe. So let's put, just for posterity, let's put down one of these, if I can find the right place to put it. I think it's there, except that I have it in the wrong direction, but that's okay. Go here at least, and then we can decide later on how we want it to be positioned. I don't like them that close. I usually like them to be one more away, so that you can see the little accordion folded, so see there, 1, 2, 3. The little accordion folded duct on the lift. I don't know why, it's just a weird thing of mine. I guess I didn't necessarily want to do that, but that's okay. And then this one's going to have the inputs, and those can be right in here. And let's put that down just to mark it. 1, 2, 3, I believe. Oh, this should be a splitter, not a merger. Yep. Okay, so we need to bring into this heavy modular frames, aluminum casings, and the nitrogen gas. So let's go ahead and hook up the nitrogen gas because that one's nice and easy. I think we can just take it like this, and we just need one of these, right? Are these called fused? Were these fused modular frames? I believe. Yeah. Yeah, we're just going to do one of these because you're just going to go into them all. They're not a critical component. Let's do that here. And then we'll do, well, let's see, what are we going to do? Although they are going to be needed a little bit later for, I think, one of the project parts, but, oops, I guess I need to have this here also. And I should use the E menu more often, because that allows us to pick between, actually, it doesn't let us pick between the stackables. That's interesting. Let's see, rotate, vertical. It doesn't look right. Can we do this way? Does that look right then? No, that doesn't look right either. I think I'm too far away. Let me go take a look at this side over here. Just to see where I have it. Oh, I'm further away here. I'm in the center of the, the platform. So that's why, yeah. So that I need to either be closer or further away. So I guess I need to be there. Oh, I hit the wrong thing. Ha! That's still weird. That's what I was looking for. Okay, let's take this out. And then we can put in this pipe as well. Oh, I forgot I have this hover suit on. Okay, and then we need to have a pipeline junction cross, which is that here? Yes, it is. Okay. I guess I should though put this down first. Right here, because I like to use these as markers for where I want this pipeline cross to go, and I just want to center it right there above the lift. And by doing that, that gets me a really close eyeball of a straight pipe there. That one looks crooked because it is crooked. Okay, what I should have done differently then is I should move this over by one more, except that I can't. Oh, yes, I can. Okay, this should be here then. And then this one should go here. That's what I want to have. And that makes everything be a straight line, which is important. Alrighty. Those aren't making anything. They are making something because they're smoking up like crazy. Oh, there they go. That's the supercomputers, I think. Which, if that's supercomputers, we're actually going to be changing that recipe at some point, too. Yeah, we're going to be switching that to the overclock supercomputer, which we actually need like a fraction of an assembler, or a manufacturer for. So that'd be useful. Okay, so you are good. Although I am going to take this out because I don't think that that's going to be the height we want it at. And then we needed to have the frames and the aluminum casing. So let's take a look at those. Those I have Let me take a look at my map for my belt here, my bus here. We added the aluminum casing on bus D, which is this one right here. On the top, and then we also have the heavy frames on bus B, row 6. So I think it makes sense then. Let's see, this needs to be on a minimum of, I guess we can take some of these out too, can't we? 1, 2, 3, 4. This needs to be here. And then we'll put these at 6. 5, 6. Take all that out. And then we'll have lifts here. And here. Alright. And they don't line up quite right, but that's fine. So we'll have this one here coming from the heavy frames on B. So we'll need to do something here to mark the position. That moved. Oh yes, it did. Okay, and this is B. So we need to find the frames, which are on level 6. So they're going to be way down here because I don't think we ever brought them this way. That's rotors. They're on 7, so it's just below the rotors. Must be these. Yep. And we're only ever going to need, let me check my calculator again. Heavy modular frames. We're only ever going to need to have 2.8 per minute maximum. So we're going to go ahead and take this. Is that the smart? That is the smart. Why did I put the smart here already? Right's to overflow. Center was to anything. Left is going to be anything. Now. Huh, that must be the end of what I had. I mean, I must not have been using those for anything yet. I'm surprised I put a smart splitter in there, given that. Okay, and this goes into 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we are down here a little bit further. How far are these apart? I've forgotten how far these are apart even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Lots of 6s today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here. I'll put 2 up just so that I know that it's not just a random thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So we're going to come this far. I guess I want to move this over just a bit more. And we'll put up our splitter here. That's a merger, not a splitter, Wally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's you, I hope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go into there. Can't afford. I'm glad I split this hypertube, because now that we're building down here, it'd be good to have it here for these types of maneuvers. I have a bunch of crap in my inventory too that I need to probably just go to visit the shredder and get rid of like 200 petroleum coke and all this silica. The quartz I'll keep because it might be useful for something other than lights. I vaguely recall it being useful for something. Oh, I just thought of a dumb thing that I didn't think of before. The Hovercraft thing. Let's do one more stack and then put this little tiny bit back. It's going to be useful for building this bus. So I don't have to climb these ladders and finagle with the bus anymore. We can just fly up. I can't believe that that didn't occur to me until just now. Alright. Yeah, there's the frames. They made it this far. And then we come down to level 4. Or level 3 rather. Yeah, level 3. With that. Let's use this to mark that position. Level 3. And then we can do this. And that's it right there. This goes away now. And then this just goes straight into there. Yep, just goes right underneath the right underneath the hypertube. And then this one is up. The aluminum casings are up on 14. We stopped them back here someplace. Where is that then? No, that's the turbo motors. Wait a minute. Aluminum casings. Oh, this is the bus. I was looking at the wrong bus. You stopped them way back there. Okay. You're complaining a little bit. As if you don't want to be flying this high away from power poles, I'm assuming. Let's bring ourselves down just a hair. Yeah, that helps. Okay. This is awesome. I couldn't have asked for better. Oh, and they fixed that too. That's one of the things they fixed in the patch that I was talking about yesterday. Is these casings now have a, although they don't have the right hitbox, but they do have the right skin, or the right, whatever you want to call it, the right model. So that's good. And then that's the end of this line? Oh, it is. Okay. So we need to add some more stacks here. That's 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Did I miss one too? No, okay. Why does it look higher? Did I miscount? I did miscount. It's actually, the hypertube's on 4, not 3. I do that a lot. Miscounting. Thank you, autosave. Okay, and then, let's see, the next one is here. 5, 6, let's get closer. Also lower down. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 14. And we're going to need these for more stuff later on, so it's not a bad idea to have them coming this far down the bus. Nope, that's one too many. Did that just go, yeah, went crazy. And I honestly don't... Actually, I guess I could look at my spreadsheet. How many of these we actually need, because we should upgrade these belts too. Aluminum casings. We need to have a total of 225, so we really need to have Mark 3 belts here, not Mark 1 belts. So I guess I should fix that as well. So let's do it. E to 3. Start going right there. You can see it. There it is. And we'll go down and get the rest of them. I'll do them after. I'll do them off camera. Okay, let's bring ourselves down. It's interesting that this thing doesn't charge while you're just standing on the ground, like why it's not at 100% right now. This is why I put down one of these, because it tends to help you with lining up. They tend to not like to connect to each other properly, but they'll connect to the opposite or the other device easier. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Hope I did it right, because I'm deleting all this stuff now. Mark. There. And then these just need a few, I think. Let's take a look here. All-clad aluminum casings. We are making fused modular frames. No, actually, they need 75. Fused modular frames need 75. So we'll do a Mark II lift. Here. If that was, that's level 3. So we go up 2 more. 4, 5. And then a Mark II belt. There. And then this should be a Mark II lift. And that should start making those. We need to have the power on the back. And we also need to have... I put that one in the right spot. That was good. Let's see. We need to have power here in the back someplace. Oh, it's way over here. Let's put it down maybe right there. As long as that doesn't clip weirdly, it doesn't. Then we can put in a connector line right here. And we can break this one. And reconnect that. And that. And that one's in the right spot. Nice. Now we don't want to fly. Let's switch that back, actually. So we should now be making these. Yeah, I have to go fix now the rest of the belts, but these are coming out, which is what's important and what I wanted to accomplish today. So, so today we got the hover. I keep forgetting the name of it. The hover pack, and we're starting to make the fused modular frames. So that's some progress, and we'll continue that progress in the next episode. So thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.